The time has come. It is day 2 of the Arena Open, draft number 1. Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Paul Cheon, and today we are doing the first draft of potentially 2 drafts at a shot at up to $2,000. So what does this mean? Well, in the first draft, it's very simple. I do a draft and I play 4 rounds and I need to go 3-1 or better. If I go 3-1 or better, I make it into the second draft, which will be in a few hours. So that is the goal for this. We want to go 3-1 or better. So here's the thing. If I go 3-1, that means in the next draft, it's single elimination. If I pick up my first loss, I'm done. I can no longer win the $2,000. But so I can go. I need to go 4-0. But if I am 4-0 in the first pod, then I have a loss to give in the second draft. And basically, I can go 4-1 in the second draft to basically win $2,000. So the idea here is to win as many games as possible. And that'll be my goal here. Got my coffee, had my breakfast. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm ready to go. All right, now before this draft starts, I just wanted to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all of your TCG singles and sealed product needs. Whether you need some singles to round out your constructed decks or some sealed product just to crack open some packs, make sure you check out TCGplayer.com and click that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Additionally, check out heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, and more, heavyplay.com is the place to go. Heavyplay.com/paulcheon will get you 10% off your first order. I actually had the opportunity to check out their booth in Chicago. Lots of great stuff. When I first partnered up with them, they had kind of a handful of just really solid playmats, but now there's just a lot more going on. Here we go. Let's fill up the pod, and let's open Sabsunin, Lumbering World Wagon. Those are the cards I'm thinking about. Here we go. Come on. Ugh. Those are not what I'm necessarily looking for here. An aggressive white card here in Bulwark Ox. This is a pretty good card, but I don't like starting the draft in white, which is why I don't like it as much. And also, this seems to perform worse than it looks. It looks like a very strong card, but I don't know that I want to take it here. Winter Cursed Rider is pretty good in the sense that Artifacts is a pretty good archetype, so that's pretty good. And then there's Ranger's Aetherhive as the other payoff card. I think I want to take one of those over something like a Bounce Off. Winter. I mean, Dimir Artifacts is generally going to be more open, I think, than the Simic deck. So you know what? Let's take the Winter here. I just don't like starting the draft with an aggressive white card here. It is a single color card. I can pair it with green, but that's like the only combination that I love. So let's start with the Winter here, but I am not 100% confident in that pick. The other pick being Ranger's Aetherhive and the Bulwark Ox. All right. Here we have Guidelight Synergist if I wanted to move into artifacts. I don't want to necessarily start out the draft in just straight Esper colors, so I don't know that I want to take that. Explosive Getaway is a pretty decent rare, but it just doesn't really have a great home, so I don't think I want to take this either. Honestly, I think I'm going to take Engine Rat. I just think this is a premium level common, and this just is an awesome creature in every deck. And given the start that I have with the Winter, I don't mind taking the Engine Rat here. Haunted Hellride is actually just okay in my opinion. Even in like an artifact deck, I still would much rather have Engine Rat as a way to stop all the good green decks. All right, so let's take the Engine Rat here just because this is a little bit more flexible. This just allows me to go into other color combinations and see what's available. Here, wow, there's a Molt Tender, only and a Veloheart Bike if I wanted green cards, but there's also Grim Bauble and Guidelight Pathmaker. And, you know, I certainly we saw the Guidelight Synergist earlier. So Guidelight Pathmaker is interesting, especially if you want to move into the Esper colors. But I think I'm just going to take the Grim Bauble here and keep myself a little bit more open. Having Engine Rat and Grim Bauble is still very, very strong. And honestly, you know, having the first Grim Bauble might be just as powerful as picking up something like a Guidelight Pathmaker. So just noting that from what I've seen so far, we're certainly seeing the artifact cards here. And we'll keep that in mind as we continue drafting. Now we have the choice between Guidelight Optimizer and Broadcast Rambler here. Green seems to be getting pretty cut off. Rambler is a better card, but it might put me into black and white. I haven't really seen too many indications that blue is open, but Guidelight Optimizer is also pretty good in blue-black, but I need to pick up cards like the Packdoll Terror. All right, I'm going to stay the course here, but noting that I am seeing a bunch of these white cards, and if I continue seeing signs that that's where I want to be, okay, well, you know what? This is the sign. I should, I could have taken the Broadcast Rambler here, but I feel like, I know I also took the Winter over the Bulwark Ox, but this is probably a sign that white is extremely open. There's also a Voyager Quickwelder, but Embalmed Ascendant is very, very good. And I think I need to make the pivot now. And, obviously I wish I had the Bulwark Ox, but let's just try drafting a black-white deck. I think I like it more than the Sabotage Strategist and the Voyager Quickwelder. It just has the most upside. Noting that I actually haven't drafted a ton of black and white, so this will be interesting to see. God, I wish I took the Broadcast Rambler. All right, Sundial here. Again, white, very, very open. White is absolutely the color we need to be. And blue, look, no blue cards, no green cards in sight here. But black and white certainly on the table. Ooh, Broadcast Rambler or Detention Chariot? I'm going to take the Chariot, but I can also see a world where the Broadcast Rambler is good. But, this is an extra source of interaction. And if I pick up a back on track or a tune-up, all these cycling vehicles get better, and Rambler is easier to pick up. I really wish I had the other one, but like I said, white is wide open, so I believe this is just absolutely where we need to be. Voyager Glide Car is actually not bad. Yeah, again, people just avoiding white like the plague, so with good reason, white doesn't perform very well, but I'm going to take the Voyager Glide Car here. I wonder if Bulwark Ox will table. That'll be crazy, wouldn't it? Blue doesn't seem super open. That's a late Nimblethopterist. But I am happy with Voyager Glide Car, and, I am happy with my decision to switch over to white here. Just kind of curious how I need to move forward with what else I have here. Here, I'm going to take a Tranquil Cove in case I need to splash blue. I have a good number of artifacts already, so I just think that's the best upside pick. Noting that, Voyager Quickwelder, really like that as well. Somebody else is definitely in blue-white artifacts because the Guidelight Pathmaker did not table, which is expected. But we do have a good number of artifacts, so the Voyager Quickwelder is actually not terrible here. It's an artifact. We have a Detention Chariot. I have a feel, black-white also can have a sub-artifact theme. Like, this is still a good Packdoll Terror deck here. I will take an Interface Ace, but hopefully I don't have to play it. And then I'll take a Wreck Remover, I guess. I don't even, do you play this in the sideboard against various Golgari decks? I don't know. But I will say, I think this is the right seat, given what we've seen so far. All right, moving on to pack number 2. God, what did I miss? Bulwark Ox and Broadcast Rambler. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to take Bulwark Ox. The Rambler was closer, but it is what it is. All right, anyways, I'm going to take a spin out here. Really, really good removal spell. Mindspring Merfolk's obviously great, but I'm not going to be a base blue deck anymore, and I'm happy enough picking this as the removal spell to go into my deck. Hopefully the person that we're passing to did not go into blue-white, directly to our left. All right. Oh, that's a late Thundering. That's a second pick Thundering Broodwagon. Oh, man. Here's the thing. Should I speculate on this, or do I take Nesting Bot here? Because what I mean is, if I pick up some of the reanimation spells, the Broodwagon is such a good card to get back. But honestly, Nesting Bot actually seems pretty good here. This deck's kind of looking to start its engines as well. It's an artifact. We likely will have some synergies as well. So if it was a more middling card, but I do think the Nesting Bot does look like a pretty good card in this deck. It's good with the Voyager Glide card to have something cheap, and Black-White also has some artifact themes. But I don't think it's crazy to consider taking the Thundering Broodwagon out of that pack. But I'm going to go see there's a back on track here. All right, well, I'm still going to take it. It's still a very good card, certainly with the Detention Engine. Yeah, okay, it's okay. We'll take the back on track. Still a good card. When we cycle the Detention Chariot, we can get it back, which is really, really strong. And, I mean, it's just a good card. Just getting something back and getting a token left over is always strong. Here, I will take another Engine Rat, just another great creature to play into my decks. Maximum Overdrive, also a fine combat trick here. I think the person I'm passing to might have taken the Bulwark Ox. Might not get a ton of the white cards here. Oh, this is interesting. Broadcast Rambler versus Back on Track number 2. There's also Siphon Fuel, but I really think it's between these two cards. If I took the Brood Wagon, I would have taken the Back on Track, but I think I just need more good creatures, and Broadcast Rambler is excellent. I'll have the Voyager Quick Welder as well to go with it, so let's go ahead and take that. Here we have the choice between Grim Javelineer, that's a late Ketrodon, and a Cloud Spider Captain. And I actually like Grim Javelineer. This card has super underperformed, and this card actually is pretty nice if you're looking to attack and be aggressive. I have actually liked this way more than I thought I would. So let's take Grim Javelineer. Here I'll take Maximum Overdrive as a really good combat trick. And we got a nice little curve here. Can certainly use more 2-drops. Wreckage Wickerfolk is kind of the 2-mana card that I'm looking out for here. That would be ideal. But we have plenty of 1-mana plays. So we can curve out. We're somewhat aggressive. We have the Nesting Bot to get our engines going early so that the Embalmed Descendant can get turned on. And this is just kind of a little scrappy black-white deck. And I don't hate it. Now I'll take a Collision Course. Can certainly use more interaction. I have a pretty low curve. So being able to... And also this is an excellent sideboard card in best of 3. So let's take the Collision Course here. This is a pack that has nothing for... Oh no, there's a Grim Javelineer. Certainly like that more than the Wreck Remover, so I'll take that here. Probably not... Like, it doesn't really look like I want to be Esper. There's Lotus Guard Disciple and Ripclaw Wrangler. Is there a world where I board this in and it ends up being good? I think I'd rather have the Flyer, although I think they're both kind of mediocre. Like, I don't like either of those creatures. Another Maximum Overdrive, okay. I do like that. Yeah, if I have too many spells, Collision Course will likely be the first thing to go. But... hey, we have 17 playables, but you know what? That pack was overall pretty underwhelming. We didn't get like any rares or anything like that. So, all right, Glory Heath Links is exactly what this deck wants. We wanted a 2-drop. This is a premium 2-drop. I love this card. Much more than I like the Crypt Caller Chariot. Right now, we have no way to discard other than the Detention Chariot. So I just think the Glory Heath Links is the superior option, and I'm very happy to pick that up. So pack 3 is where we're going to get saved here. That's my hope. That's my hope. Oh, that's a House Squad heavy. There was no indication that red was open. So that's kind of unfortunate. House Squad heavy and Thunderhead Gunner, very good. Rangers Refueler, also fantastic. But for us, I guess we'll take Canyon Vaulter. It's a fine 2-drop, nothing too crazy. I have 1... 2. Oh, it's actually really good with Glory Heath Links. 1, 2. I have 4 vehicle/mount, so it's still a fine 2-drop. Not super exciting, but I'll take it here. Just to fill in my curve. Too bad this card is not good. Whenever you exile one or more cards from your... Whenever one or more cards are put into exile from your graveyard, which I have literally no way to do, so I just won't take Ketchamos. There's Dune Drifter versus Engine Rat, and I actually think the Engine Rat's probably better. I don't know. This card just seems awesome to me, and this is just like a random reanimation artifact that's like underwhelming. 3 Engine Rats is a lot, but you know what? I'm just gonna take all the Engine Rats here. Another Ketchamos, but it's okay. We got a Detention Chariot, so we're getting a good number of uncommons here. I do like it more than the Broadcast Rambler. I do think they're both excellent top-end cards here, but noting that I do have a Back on Track, so now the Back on Track's looking way better with double Detention Chariot, and that is a legitimately strong win condition in the late game. Man, I could have 2 Chariots, Thundering Broodwagon, and Back on Track. Oof. Actually, this is probably... Like, Nesting Bot's probably pretty good. Now, what I need is other good Start Your Engines payoffs. So if I pick up like a late Risen Necro Regent... or something along those lines, it would be pretty nice. That's another Back on Track. I guess we could have also been Boros. There's a Kaladin. There's a Back on Track or Grim Javelineer number 3. I don't think I want 2 of these. I just feel like I just want to be like this aggressive creature deck with just a bunch of Grim Javelineers, and I just don't want too many 5s. Like, I have a 5, 2 6s, and this 5. Like, I know the Grim Javelineer is not great, but wow, why is Thunderhead Gunner and Stampeding Scurryfoot still in this pack now? I'll take another Canyon Vaulter. Like, we're just curving out and beating people down. Streaking Oil Gorger versus Intimidation Tactics is interesting. I actually kind of want the Oil Gorger. I think I just want a random late game card to close out games. And so Intimidation Tactics is fine and all, but I think I just want this flyer here. Leonin Surveyor is a fine 2-drop. I already have 2 Maximum Overdrives, and there's also Unswerving Sloth. Do I want to take the Sloth, actually? I have 2 Canyon Vaulters. Yeah, you know what? Let's play the Sloth. Siphon Fuel is okay. Mutant Surveyor is definitely fine. Although I guess I don't have a million ways to start your engines, but I just feel like the way that this deck works is I'm going to get in for a couple of hits here and there, and then I want to win with like flyers in the late game. Should I play this Raceway just to start my engines? What are my payoffs? I don't have a ton. Locust Spray is okay. I don't think I want to main deck it though. All right, well, I will say this deck looks somewhat mediocre, but it at least has somewhat of a plan here. Like, I'm curving out and I'm beating down. It's certainly not what you want to be when you do these drafts, but it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think I want this. I'd rather just play my spells, I think. All right, what do we have here? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess I want to separate it out like this just because vehicles are pseudo creatures. And we have 4 cuts that we need to make actually. Although this could actually honestly be a 16 land deck just because I have some cheap cyclers and I have a bunch of cheap cards to play. So as long as I keep my curve on the lower end, I can actually see getting away with that. Maybe cut the Siphon Fuel. I do have Spin Out and double Maximum Overdrive and triple Death Touch creatures and double Detention Chariot. So this deck actually has enough things to attack through big green creatures where, you know, Siphon Fuel is a necessary evil if you see a lot of big green decks. But in this deck, I don't think it's as important. Yeah, normally I wouldn't play the Unswerving Sloth. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of this. But I feel like these creatures get better with the Canyon Vaulter. So given that I have that, I do think it's probably better than Streaking Oil Gorger in this deck. I think I can cut the Voyager Quick Welder. I just don't have that many artifacts that I'm ramping into. So I think just it gives me far less utility than some of these other creatures. Somehow I picked up 0 Wreckage Wicker, folks. There's also Swiftwing Assailant, which is my first 4-drop card. So I guess I could see playing that, and maybe I cut one of the 5s. Maybe the Oil Gorger, just, you know, this is a 4-drop, right? And it also flies, and it does get my engines going as well. I feel like Evasion is kind of what we're going to need to close out the games with the Canyon Vaulter. So this definitely helps, along with the Engine Rats. Now we need to cut one more card. It's like, I like double Maximum Overdrive. We don't have that many spells, so I think that I'm kind of happy with this suite that we have. Double Maximum Overdrive seems excellent. I have triple Engine Rat, but it still seems pretty good. This is also a creature, so it's basically 16 creatures. This is not a creature. But I do want to keep my creature count pretty high, so maybe I do cut another spell. I could see cutting Collision Course. No, I'll keep that. You know what? I'll just cut like 1 Grim Javelineer. This is kind of mediocre anyways. I just need to play it just because I need enough 3-drops, but I like all my cheap stuff more. So I think I could do this. I can also choose Grim Javelineer versus the Swiftwing Assailant, I guess. Yeah, you know what? Let's get the flyer in here. Not a big change. These are the sideboard cards. We have Locust Spray, but I am reasonably happy with our current configuration. 16 lands. Our curve is super low. If I remove Detention Chariot, it's 2.5. Okay? And Detention Chariot is a 1-mana cycler. So for that reason, I think 16 lands is totally fine. All right, let's give this a whirl. I don't love it, but I think this was probably our seat. We could have also been red-white. Kind of wish I took the Bulwark Ox. I preach taking single-colored cards over double-colored cards, but my decision not to be in white is kind of what cost me there. All right, if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. Big shout out to all the patrons here. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate it. Patreon.com/paulcheon is the link. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Opponent on the play. I have Swamp, Plains, 1-drop, 2-drop tricks. This is kind of what we had in mind here. All right, turn 1 Engine Rat. Yeah, blue was really cut off, so I don't think blue-white... I'm glad I didn't, like, pivot into the blue-white stuff. Wish I had, like, another Embalmed Descendant or, you know, just some other good Start Your Engines payoff cards in black-white, but... Yeah, this is just a deck with mostly common, so I'm not, you know, super stoked for this, but we'll see how this goes. This is interesting, because I have this Grimbauble, but I really want to play Canyon Vaulter. But, hold on, I gotta think. Alright, I should kill this Optimizer. Turn 2 Optimizer is quite strong. And it's just gonna ramp them into a lot of really powerful plays. Yeah, Voyager Quick Welder, sure. Also, I never have enough good targets, is the other issue. Oh, I messed up. I already messed up, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I gotta slow down. Alright, I gotta slow down. That was horrible. Turn 3 already punting. Alright, excuse me. Nimble Thopterist is excellent. I can turn this into a 4-5, so this will likely get in. Hopefully, having my engines delayed for a turn is not going to hurt me too much. Maximum Overdrive. The Engine Rat can't attack, really. Ranger's Refueler, excellent card. This is actually... That Thopter is actually very annoying. Howler's Heavy. Okay. Alright. Let's play the Flyer. Well, this is by far the best card that's been played so far. So I'm glad that my opponent's playing fair. It's like we both, so far, just playing some blue and white and black and white commons. It's like a core set matchup here. Ranger's Refueler, obviously very good. This must be a spectacular pileup or some. This must be a sweeper. Yeah, they have a Wrath. Yep. Remember what I said about 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a 4 for 2. That was really good. Oh well. So I should be on 2 speed right now. Well, at least they didn't draw a card off the Ranger's Refueler. But they're at 18 life and they still have 3 cards in hand, so we have to reset. Highly unfortunate. Broadcast Rambler is the best possible follow-up after the pile-up. Sack the Bubble. Alright, we have our own Broadcast Rambler. I will take the 5 here. Because I have the spin out in my hand for the Rambler. Very, very close. A lot of it is just going to come down to top decks at this point. Nimble Thopterist is the play from the opponent. Okay. Lots of good, just like random enter the battlefield Thopter type effects. That's super interesting. I wonder if I should use the Broadcast Rambler defensively. But this is not a race that I'm winning, though. So I think I'm supposed to. It's a little bit risky. But I think given what happened and the fact that my opponent cast a Wrath, I need to make more defensive plays. So we'll see what happens. Well, let's see. If they attack with a Thopterist, I can just block that. Okay. Well, they could have a Ride's End, by the way. That would be quite bad. Yeah. That exiles. Yep, this is kind of rough. We're going to kill the Rambler, take 4. And hope we draw something that's a Canyon Vaulter. That'll trade with a Thopterist. Hopefully they're out of action here. Nope. So our opponent's ripping a little bit better than us, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm going to keep this Maximum Overdrive to kill the Broadcast Rambler. They have 3 Thopters in play. They literally just took every single card that enters the battlefield and makes a token. Yeah, which is pretty good in this particular matchup. Especially my deck with a bunch of Engine Rats and stuff. Look, if you drew another removal spell here, like what am I supposed to do? They literally have... The last 3 turns were just Rambler, Rambler, Ride's End. You know what I mean? It's just... Alright. I don't see a way out of this. So double Ride's End. I'm just looking at the interaction. Howler's Heavy is very good against my rats. X1s in general are certainly worse. So we could have hit max speed this turn and exiled the Canyon Vaulter, but yeah, this is... I go to 3 and then that's it. I die to the Flyers. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well, that was unfortunate. Spectacular Pile Up and some number of Ride's Ends. None of these cards necessarily plays around that super well. They had a bunch of Broadcast Ramblers, which we currently have some answers for. Like we have a Spin Out. No good answer to the Ride's Ends. Anything that's like a 1 toughness creature isn't great. But I feel like I still need to keep my Engine Rats. It is a pretty good way to deal with the Broadcast Rambler still. I think another Flyer in the Streaking Oil Gorger is probably fine. Just because they make a lot of Thopters. Locust Spray to kill a Thopter doesn't seem that strong. There's also Siphon Fuel, but I don't think I want another 5-mana play there. I guess maybe I can cut like 1 Engine Rat. Just like, I normally love Engine Rat, but it just... This matchup seems very, very poor if I draw too many Engine Rats. Like, I can use it as a defensive creature, but drawing too many is not great with all the Thopters that they have. So I'll still play the 2, but I'm going to go down 1 in this matchup. It's Mulligan, and we will keep this hand. And I will bottom Oil Gorger. I think the Rambler is better in general. All right. Guidelight Optimizer, sure. This is what happens, by the way, though. Like when when you just draft a black-white deck, like, and I don't know, like I got cut off in pack 2 because I passed the Bulwark Ox, but what am I doing? What the? I shouldn't record these. Honestly, it's throwing me off. I need to surveil. Like, I literally made a mistake turn 3 both games. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? All right, less talking. I'm gonna really just focus a little more. I guess I would have kept that, but I'm gonna focus. All right. Attack with Grim Javelineer. Trade with Camera Launcher. Don't want to land. Detention Chariot is interesting. I'm gonna keep that because I can play the Broadcast Rambler next turn. So yeah, it actually didn't end up hurting me too much. I think I would have liked to keep the Spin Out anyways. I need to go into like a different mode here. I apologize for the sloppy play. I'm usually, yeah, this is... Like, obviously we're playing for something, so it just makes it, makes it that much more important, rather. kill the Sunmare. All right. Now they have some Ride's Ends. Okay. Midnight Mingler, okay. So they have good blocks for the Rambler now. So I want to play this Chariot, but I'm not really sure what I should kill. Like, if I want to make a good attack... I can get the Quick Welder out of the way and attack with the Rambler. Because this needs to get crewed if it wants to attack. Or I can just kill the Thopter and then play a slower game. I'm going to go for the Welder. They have one card in hand. Because they can attack me back with this. And this, with 4 toughness, just leads to better double blocks. Where, like, they can block this with something else and it's better for them. The issue is I'm not very good at crewing this Detention Chariot. Oh, so their last card is Spectacular Pileup, given that block. Fair enough. Alright. Yep. I mean, it's not too bad if I top deck some good stuff, but obviously if we draw lands, it's not ideal here. Alright. Yeah, I mean, we mulliganed this game, and then we're on 8 lands now, and then they... I don't know how many of these Broadcast Ramblers they have, but this just is going to be a tough spot for us. Yeah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, right? I'm playing 16 lands, and losing like this is not great. Like, I'm not, you know, my deck isn't good by any stretch, but... Like, getting Wrath both games and then getting flooding out here with 10 lands is just not how you want to start the day. But you know what? It is what it is. I think we did an okay job of drafting the seat. We can still win 3 in a row, but not loving my chances because I feel like I'm going to run into better decks. But let's go. But please, I just need to not make these mistakes. My goodness. Like... it's like I feel bad for all of you watching. It's like you're watching because presumably you enjoy the content and you want to learn, and then when you watch the person just making outright stupid mistakes and not play things on curve, like I know that it's disappointing for you as well. So I do apologize for the sloppy play, but 100% I feel it worse than you. All right. Let's play the Ascendant here. Gonna probably take 3 from the Surveyor here. Let's hope they don't play like a Hazard of the Dunes or something. Boom Scholar, okay. So we go Canyon Vaulter into Collision Course. Attack. Alright, they missed the land drop, so we know they have action in hand. Happy to trade the Canyon Vaulter here. Looks like they have a run over. Okay. Are they going to attack me? Okay. Do they have a good 2-drop as well? It seems like it. It's good double spell turn, if anything. Tyrox. Okay. Think I'm on the defensive here. I'd rather trade this 2-2 with the Tyrox. So I will just play the Swiftwing Assailant and pass. The question here is whether or not I block the Surveyor with my Assailant. Or just give them maximum speed. Like, the zombie is definitely getting in front of the Tyrox. But I'm just not sure if I should do that with the Assailant. I think I'm just taking 3. They're at max speed. Hopefully I can draw a land here. I'm certainly not cycling Detention Chariot here, but, you know, it's like I either draw a spell or a good card. All right, Grim Bauble would be nice. Okay, the Catalyzer is good for them. Glory Heath Lynx is what we have. I suppose I can trade Embalmed Descendant to 1/2 if they attack me with the Catalyzer. Lynx can get in front of the Scurryfoot. I'm hoping they just try to use a removal spell on the Lynx. I think I should just take the Surveyor. I could also double block, but it's not as good now. Double blocking is just not as good these days because of how like blockers are ordered. So I think maybe taking 3 is just better. Yeah, I think I just take it. Like I don't want to be the first person to flinch on this Maximum Overdrive, especially with all the mana that they have available. They have 6 mana available. So let's save that. Good thing I didn't use my trick, right? Now I have a big 4/4 flyer here. They're going to make a 3/3 here, which is not great. I will get to maximum speed, though. I think I can't attack with the Lynx. So I'm going to attack with the Swiftwing Assailant. And I don't really think I have much of a choice here. I should probably just play the Chariot and just get the Surveyor. I can crew it to block as well, if I need. Like, the mana creature is also pretty good, but they don't have a whole lot of cards left. And I just feel like it's more important to be able to just not have a 3/3 attacking me because its combat stats are so strong. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. Adrenaline Jockey, sure. Doesn't do much here. And Goblin. Okay, we're looking good now. I think I used both of my Canyon Vaulters, so I can't give this flying. Grim Javelineer. Okay, so that's a 2-turn clock here with Swiftwing Assailant, which is excellent. Let's attack. Yeah, all we need to do is attack with the Assailant twice, and we win. They're at 5. We have lots of blockers, and okay, we got one down. Our opponent with a fair red-green deck. That's good for us. We have triple Engine Rat, which I think should be very, very solid in this matchup. And we just need to figure out what else we want here. Now, granted, I don't really have much of a sideboard here. I have a Locust Spray, which kills... Oh, you know what? This actually seems good. They had double Tyrox. They had double Tyrox and a Scurryfoot. So I think, you know, I can cycle this, or it's still potentially going to be pretty strong. I'm also considering the Streaking Oil Gorger. But it's more just like, what do I want to cut? Collision Course on the draw actually doesn't seem as good. And they didn't have a ton of vehicles. So I think I can cut this. I'd rather have like the cheap card that cycles. And yeah, maybe I go this over Javelineer on the draw as well. Don't think I need a Siphon Fuel too. All right, let's try this. Just minor tweaks, right? Play, draw, etc. I might bring the Grim Javelineer back in when I'm on the play. Voyager Glidecar. Scrap Compactor, okay. I guess I can crew it next turn with the Canyon Vaulter. And it scries. Okay. If it's a swamp, I don't want it. If it's a ooh, Grim Bauble, I'll keep. Tyrox. Okay. Interesting. I believe I'm just going to bobble it. There's not a ton of good bobble targets anyways, and I don't care to deal the 2 damage. They're just hitting me much harder, and they're on the play, right? Next turn, I can still double spell with Engine Rat plus Canyon Vaulter. Great. Ooh, double Engine Rat. Kind of makes things interesting, right? What does this do? Tap 3 other untapped creatures you control. Okay. As far as mana efficiency goes, I think Engine Rat plus Canyon Vaulter makes a lot of sense. And then I'll just keep the Engine Rat back, but I will crew this. Give it flying. It does have flying, right? Okay. And if they want to use their turn to compactor my Engine Rat, so be it, right? But otherwise, this still looks totally fine here to me. Some small ball here. Now, we do have the Vaulter plus Unswerving Sloth, which is a nice combination. If I draw a land, I can play both of these cards on the right, which is pretty good. Our opponent's splashing white for something, which is pretty scary. Excuse me. I mean, we played a bunch of cheap cards, which is nice. So being on the draw and being able to play 1-drop, 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 2-drop certainly helps. Block. Okay. And this is why Engine Rat's so premium, right? Like, they probably had other big things in their hand and they need to get the Engine Rat out of the way. And they're just like, they traded their 1-drop for my... They traded their 3-drop for my 1-drop. That's kind of nuts, right? All right, attacking for 4. Spin out was a good draw. They presumably have like a Hazard of the Dunes here or something big to play. 2 juicy targets for the Scrap Compactor, but you know, they're still trading up on mana here, right? They spent 4 mana to kill a 2 or a 3-drop. Okay, Adrenaline Jockey. Huh. Run over. This has to be run over. Yeah. I don't think attacking makes a whole lot of sense here, so... Okay, that's fair. Ooh, okay, so the mana here isn't ideal in the sense that I can't play Engine Rat plus Spin Out, but I think that's going to be okay. Let's attack. We can still go Engine Rat plus activate Grimbauble. And this probably is going to get them to use the Scrap Compactor on the Engine Rat. We'll see. I can see a world where they kill the Engine Rat and then crew up the bike and attack me for 4, or maybe just keep things back. Regardless, we get to play a 5/5, which is going to be pretty good here. It's got a pretty big saddle cost, though. Like I said, normally I don't like this card very much, but this deck just has a bunch of mini combos. Like, I'm playing this because I have 2 Canyon Vaulters, and then I'm playing the Back on Track because I have 2 Detention Chariots. Now, Back on Track is a little more playable in general as a card, but you know what I like. Like, normally I wouldn't be playing stuff like this. Whatever. You have some random large monster to play? Oh, Gibrick Omnivore, sure. Beast Rider Vanguard, okay. Ooh. That is super interesting. They're both really good, but the problem is, like that Oil Gorger, I'm just not playing forever, right? That's the thing. I think I want the Maximum Overdrive. They're both really good cards, but... Okay, I'm not going to go with the Oil Gorger, but I think the Overdrive is worth it. So I'm going to keep that. Wow, the fact that they had 2 things to play that turn is a little bit annoying. And the Beast Rider Vanguard, if they find a land, is also kind of bad. I really wish I actually blocked the Adrenaline Jockey now, because now I can't cast a spell. And if I attack with the Engine Rat, I guess they're going to block with the Omnivore, which is fine, I guess. Okay, I get a Surveil here, which is nice. I'm not going to use the Overdrive there, by the way. I'll keep the land. Why couldn't it be land and then Oil Gorger? So now they can use the Scrap Compactor on my Javelineer. I save it. And we're okay. Otherwise, I just block the Adrenaline Jockey. This is also fine. Okay. This is kind of annoying. Alright, I gotta get this off the battlefield. I don't want to take a bunch of damage, and I want it to keep up the overdrive. Dracosaur Auxiliary. Okay. This is also the issue with black-white. There's literally, you just have no mana sinks. Or very few. Alright, I am all in on this unswerving sloth. What? Oh my gosh. They know what I have, but it's like, can you even play around it, right? That's the thing. They know what I have, but they can't really play around it anyways. So they have to block. Alright, they have a Gonosaur Rex. That's a good card. Yeah, they have to block. So now if they do draw a land, they can kill the Unswerving Sloth. Hopefully they don't draw a land, and this makes it really difficult for them. They can kill my Swiftwing Assailant with the Scrap Compactor. So yeah, the Death Touch creatures are nice. I don't actually know how good the spray is. If I'm on the play, I kind of want to be a little more aggressive, probably. So our opponent doesn't have a land. Wow! Okay, let me think here. So now they have the mana to play the Auxiliary, which isn't quite enough to kill me. Land there was not good. I think they just want to chump block here. No? Oh my gosh. They're at 1. Okay. Engine Rat off the top and I win now too. So they can play the Auxiliary. If they play a land Auxiliary, what happens? They saddle it, and then they hit me for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're at 1 life, so they're going to have to do some chump blocking. And we are kind of at that point where we have some good draws, but we need to draw them quickly. Back on track, we have 1 Engine Rat and a back on track. Back on track to get back Streaking Oil Gorger is also quite good. Yep. Okay, I need to draw a removal spell. No, that doesn't get it done. Removal spell doesn't get it done. All right, we have a couple of outs. Obviously, a removal spell on the Auxiliary would also be good. Mutant Surveyor. How does this work? Let's see. Untap all creatures you control. So this gets chumped. Untap all creatures. So here's what I can do. I can play the Mutant Surveyor. Pump it twice, and then saddle it, and then everything gets untapped. Okay. Which forces a chump. Not a terrible draw. But that Auxiliary is already representing 6 damage here, right? If they saddle that up and attack me, that puts me down exactly to 1. So we'll see what happens here. They're at 1 life. I have 2 attackers that are potentially threatening lethal. They've only drawn 4 lands the entire game. half. So the entirety of their deck is basically lands at this point. Any pump spell kills me, of course. If they saddle this, it's just over. Yeah, we're dead. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's like... That's really unfortunate. And Rider Cat. Yeah, Locust Spray is still good enough. That's really unfortunate, though. I could have kept the Streaking Oil Gorger. I don't know. Just keeping that with just no lands for multiple turns in a row seems pretty rough. All right, I'm on the play, so I kind of want to be on the more aggressive side here. You know, given that they have a bunch of 1 toughness creatures, I guess Collision Course is still probably fine. What they had Scrap Compactor, Voyager. All right, let's just bring that in. It's actually probably just better than Locust Spray. Like, these are all options, so let's just think about this. Yeah, this is too expensive, I think. Although, yeah, because I can use the Chariots as well. It's just too expensive. I do think Flyers are a pretty decent strategy, but they do have Silken Strength, so maybe I just don't need this. Like, tapping out to play that and then them casting Silken Strength seems pretty bad. And then I don't think I have room for another spell. Like, I just want to keep my creature count pretty high. Honestly, I can probably just cut that. I think Collision Course is generally better. We'll just go back to our original setup here for Game 3. That one was super close. Like, we had a lot of good draws there at the end, and we just weren't able to quite get there. Play first. All right, this is a solid hand. Would love to draw something to play on turn 3 so that I could saddle up the Glory Heath Lynx. Noting that Engine Rat is good, but it is an awful creature at saddling things. But certainly a fine hand here. A land means I can have a 4-drop, and then I have the Rambler too. All right, drew the land. Okay, another tap land for the opponent. Drew another land. That's not great. Yeah, missing, like, if we played a 3-drop there, I bet it's like we are a massive, massive favorite. You know what I mean? Let's get the engines going. Saddle. They probably have Lightning Strike, but maybe not. Wow. End Rider, Spike Spitter. Okay. Let's hope they don't play the sweeper. If I get Wrath, like, again, I'm going to be very sad. Okay. Whew. Honestly, I was a little bit nervous. Plow through? That's pretty bad too. Okay. It's a good way for them to stabilize here. Nesting Bot. So I can give this... Oh, giving this flying doesn't actually matter, huh? Because they have a reach creature. All right, we are at maximum speed. I'm just playing everything. And hopefully we can run them over. Hopefully we can punish our slow start. Being able to go Spike Spitter into kill a thing was pretty big. And then the Engine Rat also gives us some reach. Yep. So they block these 2 creatures, take... Okay. No, that's perfect. So I can go... Let's math this out, okay? I go Engine Rat, Crew the Rambler, attack with everything. They block a 5-power creature and a 3-power creature. They take 2, 4, 5, 6, and I drain them out. All right, perfect. They block these 2, take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 more. Woo! All right. All right. We are technically still alive, but man, does this deck feel medium. All right, let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm playing against Sierkovitz. Oh, this is the worst. With my embarrassing deck here. 4 planes, Detention Chariot, Broadcast Rambler, Grim Javelineer. I'm actually going to mulligan this. Like, if I had a Swamp, I would maybe keep. But I need to actually have good aggressive starts to win with this deck. That is just, yeah, this hand is infinitely better. I'm going to keep this and remove back on track. Engine Rat, yikes, okay. Well, at least I will get a land and Surveil, so that's still fine. They're going to keep this back. Winter, okay. Alright, so they're a nice little blue-black deck here. Curious what I should do. Yeah, I think it's the Javelineer. Let's get the planes. So, like, the damage has already been done here, right? Like, they block, we trade, I got a land, and then I get to Surveil here. And I don't want the land. So, decent value there. And that's what makes this card just so fantastic. But certainly a lot to fight through. Excellent start here for them. Okay, Esper Artifacts, sure. Guidelight Optimizer, okay. Want to get my engines going here. Bring it on. Boom. Wow. All right. Good for them. Swamp. Gotta think. Because they can kill my Engine Rat, but they also have maximum overdrive mana up. They've played much stronger cards than me so far. Well, these cards at least. Oh, okay, that's fun. Haunt the network? Oh man, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Haunted Hellride, sure. Okay, so they hit me for 3 in the air. Got a little bit of a race situation here. I can't do anything about these flyers getting in. My only chance here is to just try to race them by attacking. But obviously that's not ideal. They might trade the Haunted Hellride here. Seems fine. I have Mutant Surveyor, sure. Yeah. Alright, we're at max speed. Play the Unswerving Sloth. But this Mendicant, they're going to get to maximum speed here with Mendicant in play, which is obviously not ideal. I wonder if I want Locust Spray here. They've shown me 2 targets. But like I said, my only option is to just attack. If they play some kind of artifact here and copy it, then it's just game over, probably. Yeah. Yep. I mean, they have a great deck. What can I say? Well, that one actually was a really good draw. Because I can give that flying. Like I said, all I can do is be aggressive. The Canyon Vaulter was a decent draw, but I mean, this is just an absolute ton of things that I need to overcome. Looks like they have a really good artifact shell here. All right, we got them down to 8. Live your best dreams, Sierkovitz. Copy all of the artifacts. But the thing is, just even 2 camera launcher activations is like, how do I beat that? You know what I mean? So I can pump this into a 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. Whatever. I'd like to honestly. Yeah. Yeah, they just get to chump for days here. They can kill the Surveyor, which is fine. So we'll pump this once. All right, and then let's see if we can find something here. Detention Chariot. Okay. Saddle is sorcery speed, right? Yeah. So I can't do anything with those flyers. Detention Chariot on the token's pretty good. Or although, God, yeah, just any artifact to copy with Mendicant Core is just so brutal. Like, honestly, it's probably correct to just kill Mendicant Core and then try to fight through everything else. Yeah, like the late game, I'm just not going to beat, right? So they just have to be careful with everything else. I almost want to kill the flyer. I'm not going to, though. The Sloth plus Canyon Vaulter combo is quite strong. Yeah, I am done with you, Mendicant Core. Like, if they had a removal spell, they were gonna kill the Sloth anyways. Yeah. But they have an Avishkar Raceway with max speed as well. Still a whole heck of a lot of things that we need to fight through. Curse... Come on! What? Okay. Okay. Well, Collision Course is going to be good, and yeah, the only way I beat this deck is just by being really aggressive. Maybe they make a mistake and attack me with their Thopter. No, it's their only Thopter, so they're not going to. All right. So they can exile a bunch of things from their graveyard. They have 3 artifacts to exile. And that would kill... Well, that doesn't kill the Sloth, at least. Yeah, but this is still a tough spot. Anyways, we'll go with this, because this untaps my creatures. I will not play the Engine Rat here. Exile X artifact cards from the graveyard. 1, 2, 3. They just exiled 1, but they can only do it the one time. So let's drain our opponent for 2. And then let's crew this. To block. Okay. Do I have another Canyon Vaulter in my deck? I do, so that would not be a horrible draw. I can't really attack with the Unswerving slot. Oh, wow. Okay. They just have too many, like, good rares. You know what I mean? Like, they have 6 creatures that can attack, and I just have my board. Alright, let's play the rat. And let's pass. If they attack me with everything, I'm dead. This makes me less, like, it makes me want to play Back on Track less. I will say, they do have the Memory Guardian, but they have a bunch of, like, random Thopters. I probably want Streaking Oil Gorger as well here. I feel like flying over for the win might still be an angle of attack that I'm interested in. Alright. On the play, need good aggressive start. Now let's get the Oil Gorger in. Don't know that I want a 3rd Javelineer. There's also the Disciple. I don't know. Doesn't see, like, I'm not really racing. Like, they're just playing kind of the control matchup. This is another matchup where they just make a bunch of Thopters and stuff. So I wonder if I just need to cut another Engine Rat again. Just go a little bit bigger. The 3rd one is, like, a little bit redundant. Like, I don't mind the 2. But they're also, like, not very good at crewing things. I'll keep this hand. 3 Plains in the Swamp, Grim Bauble, Grim Javelineer. I mean, this is kind of what I signed up for. Okay. Guidelight Optimizer, sure. Let's go Javelineer. Next turn I can go Grim Bauble plus Javelineer. Ticket Tortoise, alright. Well, that's why the plan here is to go to the skies, right? Memory Guardian? What is this play? What is this? Holy cow. Okay. Like I said, my game plan is to be very aggressive here. Alright, got him to 16. What a turn 3, right? Tortoise Guardian Treasure? Transit Mage. God, that pack 2 was such a disaster. That pack 2 was so bad. I don't even... It was absolutely horrendous. I'm just digging here. I'm mostly doing that to surveil and try to find something. Don't think that's good enough. Engine Rat on this board? It's not terrible. The reason being is the mana works out really well. That's all. Basically, the idea is it attacks through their stuff pretty well. I have a lot of mana. And next turn I can go Engine Rat, Glory Heath Lynx plus Sacrifice Grimbauble, which is pretty good. Huh. They chose to do that instead of play the Packdoll Terror. Okay. They really value that treasure, I guess. All right, let's play the rat, sack the bauble, and I don't know, find like a maximum overdrive or a spin out or a collision course, something along those lines. They have 5 cards in hand. Packdoll Terror, good play. You get to hit me for 4. Yep. Yep, so, you know, a lot of it really comes down to this Grimbauble activation, and that's what makes this card so strong. Just let you dig. Removal spell for the Guardian would be pretty good. Maximum Overdrive is also fine. Alrighty. How do I want to do this? 4 cards in hand for them. I can try to play like they have nothing and just attack with the Broadcast Rambler. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Instead of an all-out attack. This makes it more likely that they go for some kind of a double block. Just because it's more believable. Right, they're just going to take it. Sure. Oh, you know what they have? It's going to be a Haunt Network. And I'm going to die. Oh well. But they have to think I probably have a removal spell, or at least, given that I topped one of the cards. Yeah. Haunt Network. 5. I guess I'm not technically dead. Unless they crew an attack. They should, because I would have killed the Packdoll Terror in response to Haunt the Network, so they should decipher that I don't actually have a removal spell in my hand, and it looks like they are. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we just lost to a good Esper, like, they had great mana, and they had all the payoffs, right? They had Winter. When I first picked Winter, that's kind of what I had in mind, and that's kind of just what I was hoping for, and they got me. Yeah, just really disappointing. The first match that I lost, I didn't really play particularly well. Just didn't play anything. Didn't play my 3-drop on curve. But this is just a really middling deck. You know, this is like... And just... Ending up with something like this is super disappointing. Like I said, Pack 2 was so bad. And this is the problem with this format. Anything that's not green... For the most part, if your seat isn't open, or like if you don't get the uncommons, your deck ends up completely bad. It ends up so bad. You can salvage it if you're green and because there's enough depth there, but just they made the commons in the other colors so bad where if you just don't get enough, it feels like you're just playing a different format where like everybody else just gets to play these good payoff uncommons. That being said, Sierkovitz had a great deck. Like, I need all the Embalmed Descendants. Like, I need multiple of these cards. You know what I mean? Like, I got this super late. I got a bunch of the other things, but yeah, now we're 1 and 2. Gonna be playing for gems. Very disappointing. It's like the second event in a row where I haven't even made it to the second draft, and that's not ideal. It's okay. We're playing against the black-white mirror. So I know that my opponent also likely has a very mediocre deck, which is a great sign for us. Yeah. Look, I'm allowed to vent just a little bit, right? Because, you know, obviously, like, you're hoping to do well in these events. It's like the thing that you're looking forward to. But now it's like, all right, it happened. Let's move on. This was a really good curve for us. We have spin out and maximum overdrive. We were on the play. If we lose, so be it. Like, Sierkovitz just had straight up a better deck, right? They had just like a good Esper Artifacts deck. I want it to be blue based, but I just didn't see that many blue cards. Like, white was our seat. I guarantee you the person that I passed to that took the white cards from me, I guarantee you their deck was bad. What is their deck, by the way? There's a Guidelight Matrix. I mean, I don't even know what's happening. Interface Ace. Okay. So they can saddle these things up. Is that the joke? With this? So they can turn this into a creature and block. So all my ground creatures get blocked, I guess. They have 3 cards. But the thing is, they can only activate 1. So yeah, let's just kill the Interface Ace, because that just prevents one of these things from getting turned on. So they basically only have 1 creature here in the Guidelight Matrix to block, and then we attack for lethal. Alright, well, we got that. There's definitely a lot less tension, right? Now that we're out of it. Alright. Black-white doesn't have a ton of big creatures, so I don't really care about Siphon Fuel that much. Streaking Oil Gorger on the draw could be okay. Didn't see anything worthy of Locust Spraying. Flyers always just seem nice. It's bad when I just keep bringing just random, like, understated flyers in, but flyers do perform much better if you're not playing against green decks, so Collision Course is excellent. Really good sideboard card, too. You should be taking these very highly, like, in the mid to late packs, because it's a really good sideboard card in best of 3 situations. Alright, I'll take out a Javelineer on the draw. It's just less likely that I get the aggressive starts being on the draw. So, you know, Javelineer is certainly much better on the play. Alright, good hand here. Glidecar, Canyon Vaulter, Grim Bauble, Mutant Surveyor. Our opponent mulliganed as well. So, just looking for some lands here. They play 1-mana creature, I guess I can... Okay. So if it's not a land, I am bottoming 100%. For example, a 5-drop. Oh, that is excellent. That gets us a land too? Whew. I just hope my Lynx doesn't get rides ended. Okay. Now I hope they don't reanimate their... I hope they don't reanimate their detention chariot. No, don't kill it! No, they... Wow. Alright, they got the Ascendant. Yeah, we have very similar decks. Oh, drawing a land there was huge. Alright, let's just play the Surveyor, get our engines going. Crew. They made this, like, just good enough. Like, the... 1-mana, 2/3 crew on vehicle is obviously not great, but the Scry 1 and then the tap 3 creatures mode, like, puts it over the top, I think. They can't block. Alright. Things are looking good. 4 lands in play, 2 5-drops, and a Grim Bauble. Cloudspire Captain looks like it's pretty good in their deck. It looked like they had a bunch of vehicles and such. Collision Course on the Glidecar, sure. Probably just not attacking with Canyon Vaulter, given my hand. So let's attack with the Surveyor. That's going to get in. And then what do I play afterwards? Broadcast Rambler or Unswerving Sloth? They're both pretty good. I want to play the Sloth. I just feel like playing the Sloth, alright? Swing and a miss! This card misses a lot. I think it's a solid card, but it is like way worse than you think it's going to play out. Wow, another Canyon Vaulter is insane. All right, 5 in the air. Our opponent's stuck on lands, and I guess we're going to go 2 and 2. Or very likely to. We have just way too much. It's okay. Like, our opponent doesn't feel much either. We're both dead inside. We you know what I mean? We both picked up our second loss. We're literally playing for like 1,000 gems. You know, which, you know, honestly, I spent like 20k gems, so, you know, it's obviously fine. What did we play for? We played for 1,000 gems. But sadly, this was not able to get it done. We played against a very competent player in Sierkovitz playing Esper Artifacts. Not too much we could have done in that matchup, just given the way that our deck played out. They had a far better late game strategy with Curse Cloth Wrappings and Winter to kill my rats, and all that jazz. So yeah, that was rough. And then what was the other loss? We beat the Gruul deck. I don't know. I remember drawing 10 lands or something. Yeah. Like no shot. I had no shot against Sierkovitz's deck. And then, oh yeah, it was the blue-white artifacts deck with a bunch of Thopters and Spectacular Pileup. And the Pileup got us both times. And the Engine Rats were particularly bad. This is a the reason why this is really good too is like it's really, really good against the green decks. But when I play against artifact decks, they're much, much worse. Because your opponents can play cards like Nimble Thopterist plus Broadcast Rambler. So, you know, it's a good card, but it's really, really good in the context of just in certain matchups, it's phenomenal. But still happy with the, you know, having a couple of these in my deck. Like I said, this deck looks totally fine. It is a 5 out of 10 deck, right? I have Spin Out, Grim Bubble, some removal, Detention Chariots up top. I have a couple of combat tricks and a Glide Car. I have a Maul Descendant, a bunch of decent curvy things, but I don't really have any bombs. And when I look at this, I go, oh, this is a 5 out of 10 deck. If I play well and I get a little lucky, I can go 3 and 1. That is my expectation with this deck. But I think in a lot of instances, this deck will probably go 2 and 2. And just kind of putting things in perspective, that's kind of what I did. And it is what it is. You can't just win all of these. Looking back at the draft, what should I have done differently? I think I should have first picked Bulwark Ox. I think Bulwark Ox's win rate is also low because white is a bad color. But Bulwark Ox would have been excellent in this deck. I had 2 Canyon Vaulters. If I'm on the play, it gives me the potential to get free wins. But it was honestly me being uncomfortable drafting a lot of good aggressive white decks, where I was far more familiar drafting the artifacts decks and recognizing that Winter or the blue-black artifact deck I thought would be more open to me than perhaps taking Ranger's Aetherhive because Simic is the best color combination. I thought it was close between those two in terms of power level. So I took Winter. But there are many decks, if I do end up white, like every white deck, the Bulwark Ox will generally be pretty good. Like I like it in black-white, I like it in green-white, and if I end up in red-white, I know it's not good, but if it's open, it would have been a good card. So that was, I think, a pretty decent misstep that ultimately took a lot of potential power out of this deck because Bulwark Ox gives me... There's still a good chance it doesn't end up in... I don't play white, right? But there's a much higher chance that a multicolored card doesn't end up in my deck. So I don't know that the gold cards that I saw were good enough for me to take over another solid monocolored card. And so I think I probably should have taken that. Had I taken that, then I would have gotten... I don't remember what I second picked. Like I took the Winter into an Engine Rat, which I still could have taken. And then I took Guidelight Optimizer. And had I taken the Bulwark Ox, I would have taken another Broadcast Rambler. So it's a small change. It's a small change. It would have, but like a second Broadcast Rambler would obviously be a welcome addition here with the Velters. And I still don't know that it would have necessarily changed the result of my drafts. But you still want to look back. Even if you would have still lost, you want to look back at the picks and the plays that you made and see what you could do better. So I'm just trying to look back at some of the decision points in this draft that I could have improved upon. Obviously, game one, maybe it was nerves, I don't know, but I clearly should have played Javelineer and Surveyor on turn 3. And so like that was a mistake. Outside of that, I think the draft kind of played itself out. Additionally, it could have been a cascading effect where I pass Bulwark Ox, the person I pass to takes the Bulwark Ox, and all of a sudden, I don't get any of those white cards in pack 2. So who knows, right? No one will ever know. No one will ever know. But you know what? This hurts. It's unfortunate, but we have another Arena Open next month. Hopefully we can do better in that one. I know there's going to be a lot of good players that make it into day 2, but get back on the horse, win some more matches, and this will all be behind us. This will all be behind us. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon channel is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out to all the patrons. Thank you for your support. Additionally, go to TCGplayer.com for all your TCG singles and sealed product needs, whether you need some booster packs or some singles to round out your Modern, Standard, Pioneer, Commander decks. Go to TCGplayer.com and make sure you click that affiliate link in the description below. Last but not least, go to HeavyPlay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. Check them out if you want top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmat sleeves, all that good stuff that you need to take to your local Magic tournament or just to play with your friends. HeavyPlay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.